Well, for more on the global fashion industry and the rise of so-called sustainable fashion, I'm joined by Zheng Ruonan, live from New York. She's a journalist who focuses on culture, society, and business. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So sustainable fashion, it sounds like something when you hear organic, it can mean all world of things. Give us an idea, what constitutes sustainable fashion?
Sustainable fashion really is more than the material you use, whether it's green or not. It really can be counted from different aspects. For example, the social aspect. If the workers in the factory or in the company are treated fairly, are they using safety procedure, and also the economic aspect. Is it how much you supply meet the demand, you're not producing excessive stuff, and also from kind of a supply-demand perspective, is the operation is going the most efficient as it can. So as you can see, it really covers more than the production part of things.
So how have we seen this sustainable movement grow, and who are the leaders in this space?
Right now, the industry is seeing from mostly a top-to-bottom, top-down approach. For example, we're seeing a lot of luxury brands actually take the lead. Kering Group that owns luxury brands, for example, Gucci, Balenciaga, is really actively partnering with different organizations in pushing their initiative. For example, we're talking about China. They push out a consumer-facing program to let WeChat program to let consumers calculate the environmental profit and loss of each of their products. So initiative like that is very helpful for consumers to understand, especially it's coming from a luxury group like Kering's.
Now, you mentioned this initiative in China. How is sustainability viewed in general in China?
So that's an interesting question, because right now it's a bit of paradoxy, if you may. Consumers, especially the price-conscious consumer, they are not buying sustainable fashion because it's considered not as important to them. But also, on the other hand, consumers are more and more aware of the product they choose, whether it's good for them or not, from a healthy perspective. For example, if it uses any toxic material, so that would be important for them. But in terms of kind of the environmental impact of sustainable fashion is not as important. On the other hand, we're seeing affluent consumers who are conscious and who are, value more the ethical decision of brand, appreciate sustainability of brands.
So help us understand the environmental footprint the fashion industry is leaving behind and some of the efforts to combat it.
In the sustainable fashion, I think there's this notion of greenwashing. I think there are a lot of misconceptions from both brands and consumer on what counts as a sustainable fashion. And a lot of time, brands, I think they need to do instead of show, not saying it as a label as we are producing green fashion, but pursuing as, okay, here are the information about our brand that's sustainable, from, as we talk about, from the economic, social aspect of things, so that consumers at least are transparent about the decisions brands are made.
So in terms of companies, what are the advantages for them to their bottom lines by going green?
As we speak about, it is a marketing strategy a lot of brands are using, whether they're going green or not. But also, I think from kind of a supply chain operation perspective, going green maybe means their supply chain is going sufficient, and the company is running on certain agenda. To be able to produce that amount of goods meets the demand. So really, I think in the long goal, it is let's say it's good for the environment, it's good for the company to run at this agenda, and eventually, consumer accept it, or consumer really likes the brand because of those steps brands are constantly taking to make an effort meet those standards.
All right, thank you so much for your insights. Zheng Ruonan there, journalist specializing in culture, society, and business.